Brian from FloTrack. We're here with Valarie Allman, Olympic champion, two-time Olympic champion, four-time Diamond League champion, U.S. record holder. Now, Bree broke it earlier this year, but let's start off. Obviously, we're in Rome. What's it like to kind of be here and be in this environment and atmosphere of Rome?
Yeah, it is. To me, it is personally so exciting. I think of all the countries I've been to, Italy is probably the one that I feel like I've fallen the most in love with. So if I had my bucket list of competitions to be at, the Rome Diamond League is probably the one that I've been most excited to attend. So to finally be here, to be at that warm-up track that is just insane with the statues, I feel really excited for the competition tomorrow.
Awesome. Obviously, some top names, including yourself, will be there tomorrow. How have you kind of geared up and gotten in the mindset for this competition with them bringing in such a talented field, really across the board in the field events, but in specifically in discus?
Yeah, our field is truly stacked. It is our Olympic final, our World Championship final. Everyone that has the ability to be on that medal stand, to be at the top of the medal stand, will be at the competition tomorrow. So it's exciting. I mean, that's at this point what I love. I want to be in fields where I feel like I have to be at the best of my ability. And discus is one of those events where people, when something clicks or they find that momentum, the results can get crazy. So I want to compete hard. I hope to be in 70-meter shape. That's really kind of the standard we're trying to hold ourselves to. And I feel good. I feel excited to hopefully put on a great performance tomorrow and have a great series. I think at this part of the season, that's really what it's about, is finding your consistency, calming those nerves, and just being able to execute when you walk into the ring.
Awesome. And you mentioned kind of when things start to click for throwers and they start to go really well. Yeah. And I feel like things have kind of been clicking for you this season. Obviously, it was Oklahoma, correct, where you threw the 73 and some change for the American record. What was it like from that performance? And I think in Shanghai it was, correct, where you threw over 70 meters again. So you had a couple big throws already on the season. What's been going right? What's kind of been working? What's the vibe? What's the vibe?
Vibes have been good. Last year it was really a dream season for me. To be able to repeat as Olympic champion, to have an undefeated season, I mean, those were things that I felt so much excitement to pursue, but also so much stress. So to come into then 2025 and figure out how to set goals and expectations that were energizing, healthy, and exciting to go after has been something that's been really intentional. And, Ramona, Oklahoma is one of those places that for discus, it is the perfect place to go. The way that they've situated, the way the conditions are. And in women's discus, the world record was set in the 1980s, the early 1980s by an East German, and it really has been untouched for 40 years. So I felt like for us, as we were kind of designing our season, we really wanted to be in great shape early to see if it would be possible to try to rewrite a bit of history. So I felt like that was really motivating kind of for that early part to get into shape and to set a personal best. It does give you that momentum you want, to go into a season to feel like you're the best that you've ever been. And now we're kind of at that part where it's really about going head to head with competition. But our biggest goal for the year, our North Star, is World Championships in September. So I think that our plan and our preparation is really to be at our best come that. It would be the thing that I feel like in my gauntlet of infinity stones, it's one of the stones that's missing. And I would be so honored if that would be something that we could achieve. So I'm really hoping to be at my best and just keep using these experiences to build that momentum come the end of the season.
Awesome. The gauntlet of infinity stones kind of threw me off my next question because that's so great. Obviously, those big performances, you kind of mentioned also chunking up your season a little bit to make sure you're ready for World Championships. So what kind of comes, I think you're competing in Oslo or Stockholm? What's the next one for you?
The next one, I'm planning to go to Paris.
Okay.
And then we'll be at Prefontaine. And that's kind of the last part of this middle season before it's really taking it one meet at a time. Come USA's, Diamond League final, and World Championships.
Gotcha. So how's that? Yeah, you kind of mentioned those stages there. How important is that? And then I guess also you touched on it a little bit too. It's coming off such a high from the 2024 season. How do you kind of keep that momentum into 2024 season? How do you keep that momentum coming into the 2025 season? Because obviously sometimes people have that high, they get that medal, that gold medal, and then there can be a slump, sometimes. But I feel like you've just continued to progress and hit your stride.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I have to be honest, I think after 2021, I had such lack of experience to be able to figure out what you need to do to kind of protect your mind, protect yourself, of how do you like deal with such a high, you know? They become like so addicting, right? You achieve one thing and you're like, okay, now the standard for myself is always to be like the best and the top. And it's hard, you know, when you're human, when there's other life going on, and sometimes it's difficult to have to share that story where you feel like you're victorious all the time, you know, and everybody wants to win. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, you can feel so close to it. You can almost like grasp it in your hand and then it like slips out, you know, and when that happens, it's really hard to figure out how to view yourself positively when, as a professional athlete, you're intentionally living such an unbalanced life, you know. I mean, so much of being a top competitor is discipline and sacrifice and things like that. So I think the years after winning gold in 2021, it was a lot of soul searching to kind of figure out how do I make life feel more consistent and sustainable, which really helped after last year, being able to win again, but feel like my life had changed so much in those 3 years and really was so full. And I got to share it with so many people and have such joy. So I think coming into this year, it's just wanting to build off kind of that stability that I have and know that no matter what the performance is, that I really feel happy with who I am and how things are, which makes it exciting to then go after the next one. It's not kind of that dip where if you have a bad performance, you question everything, you know, and there was definitely a point where I felt that way. And now to be at a spot where I just love going out. I love competing. I love being able to show my craft. Has made it feel really exciting when I think about all the competitions or the logistics or sometimes the stress and the excitement that comes with taking on a track season.
Definitely. You kind of mentioned there like a little bit about the support system and everything.
Yeah.
You recently got engaged last year. What's that been like, kind of traveling so much as you have been, and then also trying to plan a wedding? Obviously, there's a lot there, because I know my wife. Obviously, I travel a little bit, but she doesn't travel at all. It's hard to plan a wedding in general.
Yeah.
What's that been like for you to kind of manage?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's been chaotic, our life. But it's been so beautiful, and oh my God, I feel so excited for us in our future. My fiance is my coach, Zebulon, and he has been the throws coach at the University of Texas. And just yesterday, he decided that he is resigning as the throws coach there, and we're really going to attack this professional side together, which is so incredibly exciting. I mean, I feel like we've been doing such a juggling act together to make sure that I'm prepared for the professional season, but he's been so devoted at the collegiate level, which is such an intense job. So now being able to transition to being able to travel more together, to have that preparation that can just be a bit more consistent as the level of intensity in these competitions is increasing, is so exciting for us. So our wedding is still getting planned. That has been a challenge, but we are so excited to get married, and hope that come this off season that we'll be able to tie the knot in a really beautiful way.
Awesome. You jumped the gun on my next question, because that was where I was going to head next, was asking about Zeb's retirement and just what it means for him to be able to kind of dedicate all of his time to you. Obviously, he's had such amazing success at the University of Texas, and just through his career as a collegiate coach, but now kind of just being able to focus on you. Will he be taking on any other athletes? Is there anybody else he's looking to focus on, or is it just gonna be like kind of you guys working together in tandem to see really what the ceiling is?
Yeah, I think our plan for now is to simplify, to really go into this next chapter together, focusing kind of on just the professional side, especially through this World Championships come September. The NCAA, it's obviously changing so much, and I think the rigor and intensity that all college coaches are having to give to recruiting, to developing, to keeping athletes at the school has just been amplified, bar none. So I think it's going to be really nice for him, for our family, for us as a couple, to be able to allocate so much of that energy back into our lives. But we have a lot of ideas for the future of avenues that we want to pursue, and we're really excited to dive into them, but I know that we're both most dedicated and devoted to World Championships in September, and then once we've kind of gotten through that, I think we'll start being able to open up some of those other doors.
Awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the competition tomorrow, about being in Rome in general, or anything like that? Because I think you got all the questions from me. So
yeah, I don't know. I think there's certain competitions where there's some organic, indescribable feeling that you have going into them, and I think for me this is kind of one of those spots. So I'm hoping that the competition goes well, and just to really enjoy it and leave excited to come back to have more great experiences in the league.
Awesome. Well, best of luck tomorrow, and thanks so much for talking with me.
Of course.